how many of you are from engineering background here? Engineers? So many? I mean computer science engineers also, right? Okay. So, okay, especially when I was an engineering student, okay, so especially day before the examination, okay, I used to go and beg in front of the topper's room, right? Have you experienced this? So what I used to go and beg? Please mujhe padha do. Notes nahi. Please mujhe padha do. Of course, notes you'll be getting from the Xerox shop. Okay, below the hostel you'll be having Xerox shop. So from there you'll be getting the notes. But who will teach you all that? There should be some person, okay, who has attended the classes and they know something about that subject. So you won't realize it till 7 o'clock. By till 7 o'clock in the 7 p.m. you used to feel that you'll be reading it on your own. Till 8 also you'll be feeling that you'll be reading on your own. 9 o'clock you go to dinner. 10 o'clock you realize that the time is not there anymore. Then you need someone. Okay, so already in your hostel only there will be a group who will be already reading since from the morning. But you have ego issues, you won't go there. So what will be doing? So you'll be going to another hostel, you will be going to different friend and there you'll be begging. Because there you don't have any shame to beg. Okay, then you'll be sitting in some corner. I used to do that. I used to sit in some corner because they used to teach me as untouchable. Firstly, they used to ask me, are you from the same batch? Are you in my department? I used to say that yes, I used to sit in the same class. I used to visit sometimes. So at that time, I used to sit as untouchable in the same class, and then whenever they are reading something, I used to just overhear that, and somehow I passed my examination. Right? So what is important here before the examination? Revision. The revision is the most important aspect here. Now what all you guys do for your revision? So what do? You must be having your own plans, right? So all these days you must have read a lot of content, right? So what are your plans for revision? So how many of you are giving pre this year? Almost all? Rest of you? Next year. But the UPSC examination is such an examination, will you crack it in first attempt? Yes. But in first attempt, you will not be getting directly into IAS or IPS. Because, wherever you go, on all the coaching center boards, what is written? We prepare students for IAS, IPS. What are the various provisions of the Article 110? And you used to remember. And in examination, whenever the question, if at all the question is asked, so that will be entirely different. In fact, they will be framing question in such a way that it will obviously confuse you. Right? So for this, if you want to reduce your burden, what you have to do? You should know the pulse of the examination. You should know the pulse of the examiner. So this is called as mentality. Mentality of the examiner means in which direction they are thinking. So what is going on in their subjects? So what is the current research which is going on? So based on that only they will be asking you questions, right? Then that who will be knowing? Of course, when you go into the market, you will be getting hundreds of materials, right? You will be getting so many test series. It will be loaded with too many questions. But ultimately, you won't be able to remember all these questions. All the content you won't be able to remember. Now, I take geography here. Whenever I am taking geography, I focus mainly on the mains part. So after every topic, I give you questions, which you never write, which you never attempt. So after this also, you require some curriculum, some kind of a timetable. So only when someone is pressurizing you, only when a test is conducted on daily basis or weekly basis, you will be studying, because we have been trained like that. Because in our schools also you had this unit test, whatever, monthly test, something like that. So only for the test you have a habit of studying. And if you don't have any target in front of you, Will you study? You will not study that much. Your target should be set. So that's why you should have your own curriculum. Right? In this week I will be completing this much, and the next week I will be completing this much. So like this you should be having your own targets. So then only you will be able to complete the syllabus. So this thing you can do on your own. So if you can't do on your own, okay, if you join this program anyways, okay, you'll be having, you come and sit in the class, that's it. The teacher will come and of course revise the entire subject and also tell you the current affairs associated with that. So both the things will be clear to you, right? So I'm not saying that you can't do on your own, but I'm saying that you require some help, okay? And apart from this, okay, let's talk about the examination itself. How many questions come in the examination? Around 100 questions. So in this 100 questions, in how many questions you'll be having clarity, like you're 100% sure? How many? 20 to 30, yeah. What's your number? Lucky number?
I guess it will be about 30 to 35 questions.
30 to 35, okay. Yes. 30 to 35. Yes, Syed Miya, huh? Say 30 questions. See 30 questions, if you have read everything, na? If you have read all the current affair booklets and if you have read all the static content, na? At the first look, when you look at the question, okay, only for 30 questions you will be having 100% surety. I mean that means just by looking at the question without looking at the options, if you are able to attempt that, so that means you have 100% surety in that. So these will be only 30 questions. So how many marks you are getting here? 60 marks will be getting. Rest you have how many questions? 70 questions. So what will you do in this 70 questions? And these 70 questions are not equally tough. There are different gradations here. Like in this, so you will be having some questions where you know half of the answer, other half you don't know. Means if you are attempting this question, if you are taking pure math, that means 50% probability is there. Means 50% you will be getting a right answer in this. And some questions will be there where the probability is 1/3. And some questions the probability is, what do you mean by 1/4? Okay, nothing, you don't know anything in that. Now let's take these questions. Say these questions are around 40. Okay, 40 is a very high number. Say 30. Yeah, such questions as 30. Now if you are attempting this, okay, 30, okay, 15 are right and 15 are wrong. So ultimately how many marks you are getting here? Math. CSET you have been doing, right? Yeah, CSET students here. 25? So ultimately you will be getting 25 marks, net 25 marks will be getting. Then you have 1/3 of the probability. So these questions are around 30. So that means 10 questions will be right and 20 will be wrong. Okay. So around 4. Say 10 marks you are getting here. And these questions you should not be attempting, 10 questions. Again this depends upon the difficulty of the paper, right. So this is pure math. Now these questions you should not be attempting. Okay, so how many are scoring now here? Around? That means you are on the border now. That's it. Means still you will be still having a doubt whether you will pass the examination or fail the examination. Till the time the results come, okay, you should not be, okay, you will be worried whether you will pass or fail. And some questions you should always leave in the examination. They are not meant for attempting. You guys believe in God, right? God. You imaginary friend you have, right? So Bhagwan ke liye chhodna chahiye. For God you should leave. Okay. These 10 questions. Again it depends. Sometimes you can leave 5. If the question paper is very easy, okay, like 2016 paper, or 2015 paper, then you should be attempting 95 questions. Of course, at that time what will happen? The cutoff will also increase. If the paper is easy, cutoff will increase. Now, here you have to play with the questions because you are not very much sure. Then how you will be able to attempt these questions correctly? Sometimes what works? Sometimes your intuition works. Means you will feel that that question is right, that's it. That option is right. Intuition will work. But how this intuition will become better and better? By practice. So for that you need a practice. So here in this session, okay, when I will be taking the session, I will be giving you questions on daily basis. In the class itself, okay, after the your normal content, you will be given questions also based on that content. So we will be practicing that, and in that I will be telling you some tricks. So how to do such kind of questions, right? And in some questions, you have to just find some logic based on UPSC pattern. UPSC pattern. So if you know this logic, if you know this trick, you will be able to attempt at least 20 to 30 questions. You don't have to have a total knowledge of that. For example, okay, my students know these kind of tricks, but for others I am telling you. Okay, if a statement is coming with only, so whenever only is there, that statement will be always wrong. Because in this world, okay, you can never have a statement with only. For example, okay, they are saying that because of deep sea mining, only the diatoms will be affected. For example, they are asking this way. So can you give this guarantee? No. So in a volcanic eruption, say CO2, SO2, okay, chlorine, methane, etc. only will be emitted. No. Okay, you can never give this guarantee. So you can never give this guarantee of only. And if you are having any technology, if they are asking you the future usage of the technology, then answer is always all the above. So these kind of tricks you will know only when you attempt more and more questions. So for that you have to understand the UPSC pattern, UPSC pulse, the way in which the UPSC is framing the questions. So this pattern you should know. And there is a lot of ambiguity also in the questions given by UPSC. Because when the examination is conducted on June 5th, on June 6th and 7th, there will be so many keys which will be released in the market. But okay, if you are matching this key with the ultimate key of the UPSC, so last year there were differences in at least 7 to 8 questions. Means the key which has been given by the coaching centers and the key which has been given by the UPSC, the 7 to 8 questions, it was entirely different. That means the UPSC is framing questions from somewhere you don't even have access to. So that is from where it is searching the questions. So if you want to become better and better over there, you have to practice more and more, and you should be able to connect your static part with the current part, and you should be able to guess what kind of questions will be asked. And every year the way in which the questions are being asked, they are changing. If you look at the geography, let us see the pattern in which the questions are being asked. So earlier this was a golden period of geography. So see the number of questions which are asked from geography here: 11, 16 questions, 12, 20, 13, 15, 14, 20, and 15 also around 16 questions were asked. So after that the number of questions from geography were decreasing. But from ecology and environment the questions are increasing, and the pattern will not be the same. So from 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, there are not too many questions which are asked from geography. Okay, they are asking 3 to 4 questions only from hardcore geography, and rest of the questions are location based. So I am not including location based questions in geography. Now even if I am including location based questions in geography, at max there are 10 questions, not beyond that. And the questions which are being asked, okay, in geography, they are highly conceptual questions. That means if you don't do the concept very clearly, very deeply, you won't be able to attempt that. So that thing we have done in the classes. So when I was taking, okay, their GS part, I have seen that they have covered very deeply. Okay, I have made them, okay, read geography almost till the optional level. So concept wise, they have touched the optional level also. So since you have missed my GS classes, okay, I will be taking this session of geography. So I will be touching all those parts, okay, which are going to come in the examination, because in geography they will be asking concept based. You don't have to mug up anything. So generally you have an intuition that geography is all about mugging up things. It is not mugging up business. You just have to understand the phenomena, that's it. If you are taking climatology, you just have to understand high pressure, low pressure, high temperature, low temperature, that's it. If you understand that, then you will be able to attempt all the questions. But the problem is, you won't be able to understand that also. Yes, why? Because common sense is lacking. So next time when you are coming to class, please get common sense along with you. Is it your friend or enemy? Enemy. Friend, right? Okay, be friends with common sense. So get that to your class. So it will help you in solving geography questions. Now let's see the type of the questions which are being asked. Now my GS students will answer this. Write the question here. So when you travel in the Himalayas, you will see the following. Now in examination, can you say, sir, I have never traveled in Himalayas, my parents have never sent me. You can't say that, right? So you will see following. What is deep gorges? Huh? Very good definition. Oh, good, nice. Okay, what you say it louder? Yeah. Land which is depressed. Why it is depressed? Love failure. Why? Ah. Okay, fine, good. Okay, it is where the river is cutting a mountain or a landform. So there you will be having deep gorges, right? Now in Himalayas, do you have deep gorges? Where all you have? Yeah. No, those are syntaxial bends. Tell me. Who is that? Yeah. Gangotri, Yamunotri, or? You have been to all these places for as pilgrimage? Achha. Yeah, my dear geography students, yes, Vishal, tell me. Where all you have deep gorges? Sutlej will be cutting a deep gorge from the Himalayas. 2 days ago only we talked about antecedent rivers, the rivers which have origin in beyond Himalayas. So if they have to come into India, they have to cut the mountain. Say this is India, this is where you are Himalayas. So from here if the rivers are coming, they have to cut this, right? So when they are cutting the Himalayas, they will be creating deep gorges. So that is what it is, right? Of course you will be having this. And U-turn river courses, of course this is U-turn, right? It appears to be going in this direction, but again it comes in this direction. So that is because of the syntaxial bend of the Himalayas. So next you have parallel mountain ranges, right? You have already drawn the formation of the Himalayas, because the Himalayan formation is not a one shot activity. It has taken a lot of time. So firstly the Trans-Himalayas are formed, then you have Great Himalayas, then you have Middle Himalayas. Shivaliks are not Himalayas. Who told you that Shivaliks are Himalayas? Huh? You call them, but they are not actual Himalayas. They are not actual fold mountains. Are they fold mountains? No, at max what they are? Uplifted debris, because you don't have any structural bend. Because if you are looking at other ranges and Shivaliks, what is Shivaliks? Kachra, that's it. This is how the other Himalayas are. Other Himalayas will be having what? This structural folds. The Shivaliks is different from other Himalayas. Now she must be thinking what this sir is saying, Shivaliks are not Himalayas. They are not true orogens, right? Okay, now she will go and doubt me. She will take all her NCRTs, whatever she has. Ah, that's good. Yeah, okay. So that clarity I will give, okay, because in textbooks what is written over there. In NCRT if you take, and there's so many mistakes in NCRT also. I told you in the class, this kind of mistake is there in NCRT. Because you will be believing all the time, you have believed that NCRT is your Bible, Gita, Quran, or whatever religion you believe in. But there are mistakes in NCRT also, right? Now, you have parallel mountain ridges, of course you have. Next you have deep gradients causing landslides. So, you cannot deny of this, answer is what? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, look at the next question here. With reference to micro irrigation, which of the following are correct? What is micro irrigation? One of the examples of micro irrigation is drip irrigation. Drip irrigation is very example. That means if you are using the water very efficiently, what is called as micro irrigation. Now, what is macro irrigation? Micro means small, macro means big. Canal irrigation, okay, you are constructing very big dams, okay, a lot of water is being stored over there, and then you are diverting this water through various systems, etc. Right? Now, see, the fertilizer and nutrient loss can be reduced, yeah, because you are using less amount of water. So, ultimately all the nutrients are mixed in what? Water. Okay. Next, it is the only means of irrigation, again I am telling you. Okay, even if you know or don't know anything about this, if only statement comes, wrong, that's it. You have to eliminate this option 2. Now, let us see the trick here. Option 2 is eliminated. So, these 2 options you are eliminating. What is left? 1 only and 1 and 3. Look at 3 here. In some areas of farming, receding of groundwater table can be checked. Can be checked. Can be done. You can create IAS. You can become Prime Minister. Is there any debate about this? There is no debate. Can means you can. Anything can. Right? Right? So, you can't deny this. So, for this any knowledge is required? No knowledge is required. Okay, this is also like common sense only. So, when you solve more and more questions, you will get to know these kind of things. So, this is all previous year questions only. Now, let us see. Which of the following can be a threat to biodiversity? Global warming is a threat? Why it's a threat? Huh? What can't sustain? Niche. Okay, niche, for example. See, global warming is happening or the Arctic ice is melting. What will happen to polar bears? Will they dance on the ice? What they'll do? They'll simply perish because they survive on the icebergs. So, only one example you should know, that's it. Fragmentation of the habitat. For example, you had a very big forest. Okay. Now, for example, okay, Mr. A has to construct a highway between this. A. Who is A here? Like Ambani, Adani, or anyone, okay? Anyone, right? Okay. So, anyone has to construct a highway. So, this was a elephant corridor or tiger habitat, for example. Right. Now, this is fragmented into 2. It has become 2 parts. Okay. So, this has been given to, okay, Mr. G Gujarati, okay, and this has been given to Mr. UP, okay. It has been fragmented now. So, when it has been fragmented, okay, the mixing of the species will not happen. Now, what they will start doing? They will start interbreeding here, and these animals will start interbreeding here. Interbreeding, you understand, right? Okay, incest within the family, they will reproduce children. Okay, like Chelsea and Cersei. Jamie and Cersei, right? Game of Thrones you have seen, right? That's why all the 3 children died. Game of Thrones. Jamie and Cersei had 3 children. All the 3 have died because when you have only one type of gene propagating further, the chances of its survival will be less. So, what will happen? Only one type of gene will be propagated further. What will happen? They will perish. Okay. If you don't understand this, one type of gene propagation. For example, you have, okay, say Vishal here, okay, you have Samantha here, okay, and you have a main road, highway in between. Now Vishal wants to meet Samantha very badly. What will happen? One day, one truck will come and hit him. Okay. So what will happen to biodiversity? Decrease, lost. Because on the highways, when you travel on the highways, you will see that so many animals are just killed like that. Especially in the monsoon season, if you are traveling on the highway, you can see hundreds of snakes which are there, snakes, frogs, they die on the highways, right? Next, IAS, most dangerous, very, very dangerous, very harmful to our countries, biodiversity. So, invasive alien species. So, what does this invasive alien species do? So, they will not have any predator.
For example, tortoise recently have seen that we consume more food that other species cannot have the food for.
But why it will be consuming more food at the first place? Because invasive alien species, you are getting this species somewhere from outside, right? So when you are getting a species altogether newly in this environment, if you are introducing here, so it will not be having any natural predator, it will not be eaten by anyone. So what will happen is its population will keep on increasing, and when its population will keep on increasing, it will consume all the resources. So it will be eating away all the grass which is present in this region. So when it eats away all the grass, the other animals, will they get anything? They will not get anything. Like Pushpa movie is there. Pushpa movie has been introduced in Bollywood. It's a IAS invasive alien movie. It has come from outside. But what it has done? It has eaten away the market of Bollywood. And everyone wants to watch Pushpa on, right? And nobody wants to watch other Bollywood movies. So it will be eating away the entire market, or it will be eating away, consuming all the resources. So then other animals will die in that habitat, right? So next you have promotion of vegetarianism, like Mantala Satyanarayana. What these people do? They promote a lot of vegetarianism. So will it? Because when this question was asked in the examination, so many people had a lot of doubt. No, leave culture apart. Okay. So this question is given in USS Civil Service examination. Now answer this. So they don't have any obligations. They love cow, like they love chicken, like they love fish, right? If you are promoting vegetarianism, will the biodiversity decrease? Nothing as such. Say take one extreme case. See, whenever you want to understand any phenomena, you have to take the extremes of that. Say you are promoting only vegetarianism, okay? So nobody is consuming chicken, nobody is consuming goat, okay, a cow, anything. They are just left like that. Say imagine all the cows are increasing, nobody is consuming the cow. You should not be feeling shy in saying that, because India is the largest exporter of beef in the world, you know that. Okay. Say the cows are increasing. So India bans beef exports completely. The cows are increasing. What the cows will go and do? Eat away all the grass. All the fodder will be gone. The fodder is supposed to be consumed by buffalo, black buffalo, which actually gives milk. Right? The cow is an overrated animal, would I say. Who gives you milk? Buffalo gives you milk. Because it is dark. Because it is black in color. We are doing racism against it. Isn't it? Color discrimination. The cow looks fair. That's why it is overrated, overhyped. It's not pure buffalo, which actually gives you a lot of milk. Cow gives how much milk? Half a liter? 1 liter? Buffalo gives you like 20 liters of milk also. Right? If cow eats all the grass, poor buffalo will not get anything. So biodiversity loss is there on. Okay? So we can't be commenting on this. So answer will be 1, 2, 3 only. Okay. In options only means okay, fine. Okay. In questions only is a problem. Okay. So don't think that sir told that anywhere only comes, just strike it off. Don't do that. Okay. So let's see one more question here. The Narmada river flows to the west, while most of the other larger peninsular rivers flows to the east. Okay, just 3 days ago we have done this question in the class itself. Yes, but these guys now are Gajinis, they don't remember anything. They forget everything in one day. Yeah. मेरा पूरा इज्जत मिट्टी में मिला रहे हो तुम लोग. Yes. Okay, because it is flowing towards the west because it's flowing in a rift valley. But while rest of the rivers are flowing towards the east, why? Why it has bent? Huh? Why it has bent? For example, you have a biscuit. When you're breaking a biscuit, what will happen? One part will go this side, one part will come this side. So you'll be having a eastward bend. So when the Indian peninsular plateau, while it was moving towards Eurasia, what happened to that? This is Eurasia, this is India. So when there was reunion hotspot activity, what reunion hotspot activity has done? It has cut the peninsular plateau. Like a biscuit, it was broken. So while it was broken, this part, okay, this part started tilting this direction. Okay, because of the tilt, you have east flowing rivers. So look at the question here. So it occupies a linear rift valley, right? Next it flows between Vindhyas and, right? Yes, absolutely right, but it's wrong. Because which river flows between Vindhyas and Satpuras? So this is Vindhyas, this is Satpuras, Narmada, right? Which river is given there? Tapi is given, Narmada. Okay, Narmada will be flowing between, okay, right here. So Narmada is flowing between Vindhyas and Satpuras. So next you have the land slopes towards the west from central India. Is it right? The land is sloping towards what? East. Okay, so this is a wrong statement. Because why it is flowing towards the west? Because of the rift valley. The answer will be 1 and 2 only. Which river is given here? So there must be some printing mistake here. The answer is 1 and 2. Now, okay, from this question what you have to learn? So which are all the west flowing rivers in India? Narmada, Tapi, Mahi, Sabarmati, Luni and Periyar. You have all the west flowing rivers, right, of the western Ghats. Now why do some rivers flow towards the west? Why majority of them flows in the east direction? Because whichever rivers are flowing towards the east because of the eastward tilting of the plateau, and west because either because of the Rift Valley or they are located on the western side of the western Ghats. Now why do rivers flow in the east direction form deltas? So you should be inquiring about these facts. Why? Why they form deltas, east flowing rivers? You have large rivers, they will be draining, they will be washing a large amount of land. That's why they will be carrying a lot of silt. Therefore, when the silt is deposited, deltas are formed. I should also know about the hydroelectric projects or dams which are constructed on these rivers. So these kind of points you should be looking after. Right. So when you are talking about world geography and the Indian geography, so more focus when it comes to prelims, more focus is on Indian geography. More than 80% of the questions are on Indian geography, and world geography the focus is less. So earlier they used to ask, before 2015 the trend was different, it was 50-50, but now 80% of the questions are focused on the Indian geography. Now in Indian geography, what all things you should look at? You should talk about Himalayas, okay, all the ranges of the Himalayas. Then you should discuss about peninsular plateau and peninsular mountains, then northern plains, deserts, islands, etc. I should be talking about all these things now. So this question has been asked, right? Let's talk about river system here. So what should we focus on? Drainage, especially from where the river is evolving, from where the river is originating, that should focus on. And if at all any important dams are there on that, okay, and important controversies are there, because when you have the interstate rivers, there is always a dispute. You should know the dispute. Okay. So states, you should also know the comparison between Himalayan rivers and peninsular rivers. By the way, what is the difference between Himalayan and peninsular rivers? Which is old, peninsular or Himalayan? Old. Peninsular rivers, because peninsular plateau existed even before the existence of the Himalayas. Okay. So which will be carrying a lot of water? Himalayan rivers. Why? I asked you why they carry a lot of water. Because they'll be getting a lot of glacial feed. Okay. Even monsoons, in monsoons they'll be getting water. When they have rainfall, they'll be getting water. So when there is no rainfall, they'll be getting the feed from melting glaciers. So that's why they are perennial. And of course they have a large amount of water because they'll be having continuous supply. Whereas the peninsular rivers, do you have any glaciers or ice melts? No, that's why they are seasonal. Okay. Then again you should talk about east and west flowing rivers. Now look at the question here. The Brahmaputra, Irrawaddy, Mekong rivers originate in Tibet and flow through a narrow and parallel mountain ranges in their upper reaches. Of these rivers, Brahmaputra makes a U-turn in the course to flow into India. The U-turn is due to what? Now look at the options here. All are equally confusing. The uplift of the folded Himalayan series. It sounds quite convincing because okay, you must have heard about Potwar Plateau, which has been uplifted. So because of the uplift, you have a change in the direction of Indus River and Gangetic River system. So if you have read that fact, then you will be getting confused between these two. Okay, that's why generally in the first statement will be highly convincing in nature because you must have read this fact somewhere. If you haven't read about Potwar Plateau, then you will not get confused at all. So study less, no problems, no worries. If you study more, then you will start getting doubts. So let me tell you one thing. Okay, if you are comparing a geography GS student and geography optional student, who will get more marks in geography? GS wale. Optional wale ko, they will get less marks because they overthink. They will think that this is right. So ultimately they will be marking what? A and B. So what the GS students will be doing? They are just mugged up this thing. U-turn because of syntaxial bend of Himalayas, that's it. They mugged up this thing. So ultimately they will be marking this only. What the optional students will do, if you have studied more, what they will do? They will put this also. That's why the option what is given? Both given, A and B are given. So you should know the mentality of the examination, okay, the UPSC, okay, the person who is framing the paper. So why they are putting this optional? You should not be just inquiring about one optional. You should also inquire about other options. Why they are giving that option? So how UPSC wants to confuse you? Because UPSC examination is examination of elimination. They want to eliminate you. So you should not be falling for such kind of tricks or traps which have been set by the examiner. Understood? Of course, there are more questions, but I guess my time is up, and you guys are also okay. So other questions are also there. So if you want to study, okay, more know about more these kind of things because we'll be doing the revision at a fast pace. And if at all there are any gaps in your preparation, in your concepts, that will be clear. The concept wise, all your gaps will be filled. Okay, you will have a very large clarity in terms of the concepts. So my Jewish students are also here. You can talk to them also. So at least that part will be clear to you. And apart from that, your mapping portion will also be very much clear because whenever I take GS portion, I'll also be updating you with it. The latest current affairs of world affairs because I am more interested in that, what is happening in the world. I love Putin more, that's why I want to know what he wants to do. So I'll be more interested in those kind of things. So that's why your entire IR part at least, okay, that will be very much clear. Because nowadays in prelims, okay, you are asked questions about the IR part also. Means you should know the relations of different countries and the locations. So the locational aspects and the strategic aspects which are associated with your locations. So those things also I will do. See you.